On December 2, 1919, theater tycoon Ambrose Small vanished from his Toronto office, leaving behind a $1 million check and a web of unanswered questions. His sudden disappearance ignited Canada's crime of the century, blending high society scandal with police bungling and supernatural intrigue. Early life and rise. Ambrose Joseph Small was born January 11, 1866, in Newmarket, Ontario, the son of Irish immigrants who instilled in him both frugality and ambition. He began his theater career as an usher at Toronto's Grand Opera House, learning showmanship and management before acquiring his first stage venue at age 30. By 1919, Small presided over a network of vaudeville and melodrama houses, including the Grand Opera Houses in Toronto and Kingston and the Grand Theatre in London, earning him the moniker Canada's Mayor of Live Entertainment. His flamboyant lifestyle, gambling at exotic clubs, cultivating high society friendships, and reputed affairs made him both celebrated and controversial among Toronto's elite. Yet beneath the glamour, creditors whispered that Small's empire teetered. The rising appeal of motion pictures threatened his live theater fortunes. These tensions set the stage for his dramatic exit from public life, a departure no one saw coming. The $1 million deal and final sighting. On December 1, 1919, Small sold all his Ontario theatre holdings to TransCanada Theatres Limited, netting a $1.7 million in what papers lauded as the deal of the decade. The next afternoon, he and Teresa drove to the Grand Opera House in a motorcade of town criers, arriving amid cheering crowds and flashbulbs. Inside his oak-paneled office, he endorsed the $1 million check. Teresa then departed for the Dominion Bank to deposit the funds. Free at last from mounting debts, Small spent the remaining hours selecting a Cadillac Tourer, a sable-trimmed coat, and jewelry, all charged to his fresh account. At 5:30 p.m., lawyer E. W. M. Flock joined him for the routine closing meeting, later stating, "I left Mr. Small in his office at that hour and know nothing further." Outside the theater, newsstand vendor Ralph Savan claimed a heated exchange with Small over late newspapers, but police later dismissed it as publicity-seeking. When dinner time arrived and no call came, Teresa assumed Ambrose entertained clients and waited until days later, before alarm turned to panic. By New Year's Day 1920, headlines read, "Millionaire Missing and Mystery at the Opera House," as rumors swirled of secret passages and midnight rendezvous. The uncashed check lay untouched in the Dominion Bank vault, silent proof of the vanished fortune and the vanishing man. 600 tips flooded the police, ranging from sightings Small in New York to claims he fled overseas under a false identity. Each led to dead ends, hotels with no trace, ship manifests with no matching name, and anonymous letters that fizzled upon verification. As the stage lights dimmed in the Grand Opera House, the city held its breath, sensing a drama more chilling than any he had ever produced. Investigation and suspects. Police undertook a massive search but botched the crime scene. Windows left unsealed and theater staff allowed free rein, destroying vital clues. Detective John Quackenbos later lamented that fingerprints, footprints, and even paper fragments were trampled under curious feet. Attention quickly fell on John Jack Doughty, Small's personal secretary, who removed $100,000 in victory bonds from Small's safe on the day of the disappearance. Doughty fled to Oregon, where local newspapers traced the bond's serial numbers, leading to his arrest and extradition back to Canada. In the 1921 trial, he was convicted only of bond theft and sentenced to 5 years. He vehemently denied any role in Small's disappearance. Meanwhile, a 1936 Reuter confession letter surfaced, claiming the murderer burned Small's remains in the Opera House furnace, but handwriting experts declared it a forgery. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's name appeared in sensational headlines, yet the famed sleuth creator ignored pleas to consult, leaving detectives to rely on clairvoyance. Psychics hired by frustrated officers claimed visions of Small chained in a hidden vault beneath the stage, but no excavation ever bore fruit. Police dug in Rosedale marshes and behind stage walls, unearthing only fragments of Victorian pottery and stray theater props. Investigators questioned disgruntled business partners, jilted actresses, and exotic performers, yet every alibi held firm under scrutiny. By the mid-1930s, Ontario's Attorney General criticized early missteps in official files, spurring reforms in evidence preservation and interagency cooperation. In the end, no body, no confession, and no smoking gun left the inquiry suspended in perpetual suspense. Theories and public fascination. Some believe Small staged his own vanishing act to elude creditors and start anew under an alias, inspired by the flair of his stage productions. Others argued he was silenced by a business rival or entangled in a lover's revenge, their motives buried with him in an unmarked grave if he was ever interred at all. Over decades, authors and amateur sleuths revisited trove archives. Maclean's published R.T. Allen's 1951 expose What Really Happened to Ambrose Small, yet offered no resolution. His former theaters, now cultural landmarks, host ghost tours, where guides recount footsteps echoing in darkened balconies and whisper of a phantom impresario's return. Public intrigue reignites with each new documentary or podcast, yet each ends on the same haunting question: was he a victim, a mastermind of his own escape, or something more sinister? Legacy and unsolved mystery. Legally declared dead in 1923, Small's estate ignited lawsuits among family, creditors, and the Roman Catholic Church over his vast holdings. Teresa Small, ever enigmatic, lived out her final years under a cloud of suspicion until her death in 1935. Ontario Provincial Police procedural reforms, evidence tagging, crime scene security, and interjurisdictional protocols trace their roots to this case's fiascos. The Cadillac showroom on King Street that once displayed his opulent touring cars now stands empty, whispered to carry his restless spirit. Each year, the Grand Theatre in London hosts murder mystery weekends, invoking Small's legend, inviting guests to solve their own theatrical whodunit night. Historical societies publish anniversary bulletins, quoting his final known words and summarizing cold case leads, always ending with an open call for witnesses. Katie Dobbs's 2019 biography rekindled media attention, yet even she admitted that the ultimate truth may forever elude us. Today, the office at 175 Princess Street remains sealed in archives, dust settled over his desk, the $1 million check still uncashed. Legend holds that if you whisper Ambrose Small's name in the wings of the Grand Opera House, the gaslights flicker an encore from beyond the curtain. And so his final act remains unwritten, a ghostly prologue, a story that defies every attempt at closure. Did Ambrose Small orchestrate his own disappearance, slipping away with his fortune into legend, or was he the victim of a calculated crime that left no trace? This century-old enigma beckons each viewer to step behind the velvet curtain of history and ask, where and how did the last act of Ambrose Small truly end?